Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Going Rounds podcast. Happy fucking 420 to everybody. Representing with the green. For all you weed smokers out there.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah. Anyway, it's that type of day, man. It's been a fucking week, and I'm cussing like crazy at the beginning of this, but I don't give a shit. Um, that's how I roll. So this week has been nuts, man. Fucking nuts. Like, get back from Country Thunder. Had a good time there, hanging out with friends, chilling, drinking, having fun, listening to music, and everything went well. So I was happy about that. It's always a battle with all that dirt and craziness out there. Your body breaks down a little after drinking from morning to night and then waking up and doing it all again. You know, it's cool, whatever. You're out in the open, hanging out, having fun. You can have drinks everywhere pretty much. So it's like being in Vegas pretty much. Except you're outside. It's a lot more dirty, but it's all good. I don't know about this hat. I got this new hat. I thought it looked dope in the picture. I mean, I think it looks dope. It's just maybe a different style for me. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't look bad. I like it, I guess. But anyway, yeah, sidetrack. I'm fucking all over the place, man. But yeah, here we go. Like I said, crazy week. Get back from Country Thunder, go to work right away Monday. Shit just pops off right away. Craziness at work from the jump. Monday until now, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it tonight. Got home, turned around and got called back. Craziness, man, like I said, but that's how shit goes, I guess. Life is nuts. So, just dealing with all that and, back for some more fight talk and have some fun on here on the podcast. Luckily, I did a lot of my prep work last night, so I didn't have to do a bunch of stuff today, even though I got home. Still had to jump on here and fix some stuff that I realized I messed up. But it's all a part of the process. So it's what I do. I love it. And yeah, just keep it going, man. That's what I'm here to do. So hopefully everyone else is having a better week than me. Hopefully all them bud smokers are smoking it up and having a good 420. Uh like a couple posts I saw earlier, thanks to you, you know who you are, who posted it, that said it's 420 every day if you're not a bitch. So I thought that was pretty funny. I don't know. Anyway, it's 420 and we're gonna do this shit right. Have a good time. Talk about fights. If you saw the thumbnail, it said fights, fights, and more fights. That's because there's a ton of shit going on this weekend. I'm not going to go too deep into all of it because it's just so goddamn much. So much. So many fights packed into one weekend from Friday to Saturday. Just fight after fight after fight. Boxing, MMA, one championship that mixes everything up, Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, everything. So that's how it's going to go this weekend. It's going to be a nutty one for sure. And I can't watch everything. I don't know if everyone else can, but it's also my older daughter's birthday this weekend. So yeah, Haley, happy early birthday. She knows I love the hell out of her, but I always tell both my kids all the time how much I love them, even when I'm fucking pissed off at them. And they're older now, adults and stuff, so I still let them know all the time that I love them because I really do. And they're growing up more and more every day, even though they're already adults, like I said. But I got one about to move out, which I'm sad about. My younger daughter, Tenant Trend, who's been on here before. Go follow her on Twitch and all her social media, Tenant Trend. Uh, but yeah, it's sad. I hate being the big teddy bear sappy dad when it comes to my kids in that manner. But at the same time, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Everyone knows how much I love my kids. My daughters are my world. I'd probably be dead or in jail or anything bad that you can think of if it wasn't for them and my wife. So uh my life is great because of them and I love the hell out of them, and letting them go is tough. I'm lucky to have had them stay here for as long as they have. You know, they're both they're about to be 21 and 22, and I got to have them this long, so I feel lucky for that. But gotta let them go sometimes. So it's gonna be sad when Trin leaves, but I know she's happy with her girlfriend and she is ready to go. So I just hope everything works well, and I'll always be there to help her. And you know, man, I even get like choked up just thinking about it. I'm a big bitch about it when it comes down to that stuff. But whatever, I just like to be real, and it is what it is. She knows I love her, and she knows how I feel about the whole situation, and I'm happy for her growing and doing her thing. And as long as she's okay and happy, that's all I care about. So that should be fun. uh Yeah, other than that, Haley's birthday is this weekend, so we'll be celebrating. So I'm not gonna have that much time to watch all these fucking fights. Not to mention trying to pay for everything at the same time. Sometimes you just gotta wait for the highlights, man. But I study and research and do everything I can to find out what happened. The internet's a great thing. You get to find out a lot of shit. So that's how we keep up. So uh yeah, that's how I keep up, and I pay attention to all of it. My social media is inundated with combat sports, obviously mostly UFC and MMA stuff, but the boxing stuff always comes in, jujitsu stuff, shit, college wrestling comes up. I get all kinds of stuff. It's like my feeds are full of fighting, but that's cool with me because I love it all. So yeah, we got a lot of shit to talk about, and I'm not gonna let it go too much longer before we get to it. But I gotta get a drink in because it's been a tough day. Nothing like a good drink to get going. So let's get this rolling. Started off with some MMA and combat sports news, if I can push buttons correctly. Yeah, so from a few weeks ago, Alex Pereira and Izzy Adesanya had their big fight. And if you remember, Izzy beat Alex. And, the big talk was, okay, now they're 1-1 in MMA. Are they going to fight for a trilogy in MMA? Even though they fought 4 times now total, but 2 were in kickboxing, and Pereira won both of those. And then now, it's 1-1 in MMA. They fought 2 in MMA. Alex beat Izzy the first time. Izzy beat Alex the second time, and everyone was talking about, that trilogy. Is it going to happen? Izzy said right away, hell no. I got my belt back. He's going to have to go and prove himself some more because he didn't even defend, So, but here's the thing. There's been talk already, and here he is saying it himself, releasing it on his YouTube page. He released a video saying that his next fight will be at 205. And I can't say I blame him. He's cutting a lot of weight to be down at 185. He already accomplished becoming the 185 champ, even though he didn't defend. Conor didn't really defend any of his belts either. So doesn't mean you aren't the champ, right? A lot of people show a lot more respect for, the guys that defend a lot or, hold the belt for a long time. But either way, I mean, he got over that hurdle of beating the champ and beating him decisively, and he got the belt. So to him, he feels accomplished, and now he doesn't want to keep cutting that weight, and I don't blame the dude. So he walks around heavy as it is. I heard up to 230 walk around weight, which is insane considering he's fighting at 185. So that's a lot of weight to drop. So going down to 205, that's more realistic for his body type and, his walk around weight. And he's just a big dude, so it's got to be tough to cut all that weight. So that's what he says. He's moving there, moving to 205. So the 205 division better watch out. Jamal Hill is the champ right now, and he's already going after him, saying, Well, Jamal went ahead and tweeted at him saying, "Welcome and can't wait to see you, Alex Pereira." And then Alex says, I'm coming and we'll kick your door in." I'm like, damn. All right. But I don't think he's gonna get the title shot right away, you know? I think he's gonna have to at least win a couple fights up there. But I don't doubt his abilities, especially not having to cut the weight. And the only problem is he hasn't really proven himself when it comes to wrestling, jiu-jitsu, anything other than striking. It seems to me that his biggest tool is striking, right? I mean, that's what he's best at. He's got powerful punches and kicks. So a fight against Jamal Hill, that seems like a good matchup for him because Jamal likes to strike as well. But can he hang with him? You know, is the 205 division somewhere he's going to fit in? And is he going to be able to overcome the wrestling aspect when he comes to fighting wrestlers in 205? So, you know, those big guys take you down and use their weight and lay on you. Shit, can he get up? I don't know. How good is he at jiu-jitsu? I don't know. Nobody really knows, right? So yeah, I guess we'll see. And I mean, Jamal Hill hasn't even defended his belt yet, and he's already saying, "Welcome to the 205. Let's see what you got." I don't know. I'm excited for Jamal Hill to come back and see who he's gonna fight first to defend his belt, and will he be able to keep it? But you know, it's always a toss-up, and things happened quick for Pereira in 185 because he had that history with the champ. You know, he didn't have too strong of a schedule coming up. You know, he only fought like, what, 2-3 fights before he fought for the belt. So, shit, I don't think he's going to get that big of a push in 205 division. I think he's going to have to prove himself a little bit. So, and it sounds like Dana White feels the same way, because it sounded to me like he said that, you know, he's not going to get a title fight right away. It's going to take him a minute. So, yeah, you can't hold up the division just because you got a new fish in there. So, who knows? You never know. Crazier shit's happened. So, it is what it is. And you know what? I jumped into this shit so fast. If you're watching already, live chat is open if you want to ask questions or comment on anything. It's 420, so make it happy, motherfuckers. But yeah, chat's open. Hit me up. And don't forget to subscribe if you're here, and share with a friend and let somebody know. Hit that like button too, you know. All of that helps me out, helps me grow the channel. So do that for me if you can. All right, let's move on here. We got a little recap action. PFL 3 last week. Sorry, I need some nicotine, man. I was on the go so much today, and it's been crazy. So I got so many things going on. My phone's like nonstop too. Fucking annoying. But only it's just notifications right now. Thank God it's not calls from work, because that's the wood it's been all day. So I'm still stuck in that mode, right? Still stuck in that mode to like react to my phone, and I don't really need to at the moment. So let's get wrapped up in this. So PFL 3 last week, third fight of the 2023 season. We had big names: Olivier Aubin-Mercier, Sadabusi, and a few others that were on this. Stevie Ray. But yeah, Sadabusi got the win over Gerard Al-Salawi. I think it's a tough name, man. But Sadabusi gets the TKO finish in the second round, so that earns him some good points. Moving down to Shane Mitchell versus Naib Miranda. Mitchell lost to Miranda in the I was a third round, you know, decision, unanimous decision. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't speak again. Always, I suck at talking, apparently. I don't know why I got a podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I just have trouble, you know. Always like losing my freaking spot. But Natan Schultz versus Stevie Ray, man. Everybody was thinking Stevie Ray was going to take that for sure, and Natan Schultz just showed him what's up. Unanimous decision there as well. There was a lot of decisions on this card, but the rest were TKO or KO, so not too bad. The finishes were good finishes. Head kick, punches. So I mean, a lot of action in those fights. Olivier Aubin-Mercier versus Shane Burgos was one of the bigger fights. Shane Burgos was undefeated in the PFL since coming over from the UFC. I think he was undefeated. Shit, let me look real quick, because there was something. I think that might have been. Why am I getting notifications on my laptop? Okay, I'm sorry. That was his first fight in the UFC. What was I thinking about? Anyway, he was on, he was highly touted coming over from the UFC, and the UFC pretty much said, I mean, Dana said that they fucked up letting him go, and that wasn't something that they should have done. But either way, he was coming off 2 wins from the UFC, and they thought he was gonna be doing real well real quick in PFL, but it's his first fight. He fights an ex-UFC fighter who's the returning champ from last season, so it wasn't an easy fight, and he unanimous decision against Olivier Aubin-Mercier. So yeah, Clay Collard got a win over Yamato Nishikawa. That was a decision as well. And Magomed Umalatov versus Delano Taylor. Magomed got the KO win versus Taylor in the first round too, so that's some good points for him. In case you don't remember or know, PFL goes off of points and does the seasons. So the more points you score, the better you are to be in the playoffs and ranked high, and then you keep going through to fight for that $1 million purse in the championship. So anyway, yeah, that's PFL 3 for you. Upcoming fights tomorrow night, One Fight Night on Amazon. I believe it's on Amazon, this one. Double check. Maybe not. This is just a regular. Oh yeah, it is on Prime Video. Okay, good. I'm like, they're usually on Prime Video. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. Yeah. So we've got main event's gonna be Bantamweight Muay Thai World Championship. Nong O Hama versus Jonathan Haggerty. Thailand versus United Kingdom. I've heard of Haggerty. He's 26 years old. Jonathan the General Haggerty. That's not the nickname I thought I was gonna see from him. But he's coming off of 3 straight wins, all off decision though. So yeah, I don't know about that one. And then Nong O Hama. I don't know this dude, but he looks like he is on quite the roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight winning streak. Damn. All right. So yeah, that seems like it could be pretty interesting. Bantamweight Muay Thai. We also got a lightweight MMA match for Halal Amir versus Maurice Abiev. And then see, we got more MMA. Another Muay Thai fight, which is Stamp Fairtex's brother, Saima Pech Fairtex. God damn, that's tough. Anyway, Stamp Fairtex is pretty big star in the women's Muay Thai, I believe. Yeah, or one championship, and this is her brother fighting against Felipe Lobo in a bantamweight Muay Thai fight. Let's see who else we got. A couple more MMA, another Muay Thai. Looks like just a bunch of MMA and Muay Thai fights this time. No jiu-jitsu of any sort. So yeah, catch that tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Prime Video. Those are always interesting, like I've said before. They do all kinds of different events, all kinds of different sports involved, all in the one promotion. So it's always interesting to watch, you know. If you're into combat sports in general, it's a good promotion to watch, especially when you almost everybody has Amazon, right? You know, Amazon Prime or whatever. So you have Prime Video. Check it out. It's always on the front page the night that it's coming on. So, just like that, you know, we had the PFL recap, and then we have the one championship fight on Friday. So then we move over to BKFC, which is also happening Friday, tomorrow, April 21st. You can watch it on their app. I think it's like $3 or $5 or something like that. I always see something different every time, man. It's tough keeping up with these other. I know they have their own app. It's hard keeping up with these other promotions because they're not so straightforward and outright with everything that they do like the UFC is. With the UFC, you could just Google it. I mean, if you go to the UFC page, you're going to find right away, it's going to know, you know, if you have your location turned on, it's going to know where you are. So it's going to tell you, oh yeah, in your time zone, it's coming on at 8 o'clock, or the main card starts at 8. The prelims start at 5, all that good shit. None of these other organizations really do that. It's tough. You know, it says here, broadcast on Fight TV. So, I mean, I thought they did it on their own app, which is the BKFC app. Maybe you can get it there as well. I don't fucking know. All I know is it's always tough to figure it out with most of these fucking other promotions. But it says start time 6 p.m. Pacific. That's the closest time to us. So prelim card starts at 5 p.m. Weird. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, we got Dat Nguyen versus Daniel Strauss. This was canceled. It was supposed to have taken place on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. So I guess this is the makeup fight now. I think that might have been the event that got canceled completely because of like some kind of venue problems or some shit. If I remember right. But anyway, Daniel Strauss is a former champ in Bellator, so this should be a pretty exciting fight. We got, let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to see if is this really Daniel Strauss's first fight? Yeah, I guess so. So his debut, Daniel Strauss's debut in BKFC. And he's a headliner, so that tells you something about his reputation for sure. But, you know, if you follow Bellator at all, you know, like I said, he was a champ, I believe, at one point in time. Either way, he made a name for himself over there in Bellator. And, I mean, he looks like a beast in his picture. Fighting Dat Nguyen, which I believe, I don't know. I think he did. I was going to say, I think he might have fought in the UFC, but I don't think so. Anyway, he's 3-1 in the BKFC, so he's coming off a loss. So his first loss in the BKFC against Luis Palomino. Before that, he had won 3 in a row. So, yeah, should be a decent fight. Let's see, who else do we have on this card? Jake Bostwick versus Isaac Doolittle. I've heard a little about this Isaac Doolittle guy. He's a crazy looking dude, big beard. He's coming off a loss. Oh yeah, to Mike Richmond, which the Marine is who he fought last time. That was a pretty crazy fight, bloody as hell, intense and entertaining from what I remember seeing. So yeah, this dude always brings the heat when it comes to the fights. Let's see. Yeah, so he hasn't fought since October 15th to 2022. So last year. And he was the headliner too, so Before that, he had 3 wins in a row. So yeah, a lot of guys with the same record. It's kind of crazy. Let's see who else we have on here. Tyler Randall versus Chauncey Wilson. Francisco Ricci versus Eric Lozano. Let's see, is there any other names I recognize on here? I don't think so. Nope. But you know, BKFC, if you like bare knuckle fighting, or bare knuckle boxing, and I mean it's intense, it's crazy. If you have a weak stomach, you might not want to watch. It's always bloody. Those bare knuckles will cut you up for sure. So you know, if everyone is, you know, throwing nonstop, you're gonna get some bloody faces, and it's interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't hate on it really. It's just I don't follow it as closely as I do MMA because, you know, BKFC is doing well as far as bare knuckle fighting goes right now. But it's just one of those extra things that are out there that I just do not have that much time to watch it all. It's hard to ingest everything going on, you know? But either way, it's interesting to me, and I like to keep up with the highlights and the results, and you know, paying attention to what happened during these fights. So yeah, but that's just me. I mean, I get it if you don't want to watch it, or if you don't watch it, it is what it is. Catch one of them one of these times, you might like it, who knows. All right, so that was event number 2. So now event number 3 going on is fucking Friday as well. So first off, the 3 events that I've listed so far, including this one, is going on tomorrow night. So that's 3 different organizations, 3 different types of fights happening all tomorrow night. So like I said, fights upon fights upon fights is what the fuck's happening this weekend. So if you like watching fights, you won't be bored because you have plenty to choose from. Bellator MMA is happening Friday night, April 21st. That'd be tomorrow. You can watch that on Showtime. And we have Liz Carmouche versus Deanna Bennett for a flyweight world championship. Liz Carmouche, if you remember, was involved in the first women's fight in the MMA. Sounds so stupid. In the UFC. So she fought Ronda Rousey for that first women's fight in the UFC. And you know, she's been didn't do so well in the UFC after that, but you know, she had her ups and downs, and then wound up in Bellator MMA, and now she's the women's flyweight champion in Bellator. So yeah, she kept her career going and has been doing big things. So it's pretty awesome, especially being that she's part of, you know, history with that first women's fight in UFC. And she's fighting Deanna Bennett, who's been around for a while. I guess if you're a hardcore, you know who she is, but if you're kind of a casual fan, you probably don't. Like I said, she's been around for a while. I believe she's fought in like Invicta, which is the all women's MMA organization, and a few other places, I think, as well. I think she might have been in Strike Force, stuff like that. She's definitely been around a while, and yeah, if you follow MMA, you probably have heard of her before. So let's see. Liz Carmouche is 18-7. Deanna Bennett's 13-7-1. I assume that Carmouche is the favorite because her nickname is Girl Rilla because she is a fucking animal. So that's that fight. Let's see who else we got. Tim Johnson versus Saeed Salma. That is a heavyweight fight for the co-main event. Let's keep going. Sarah McMahon, another ex-UFC women's featherweight fighter, is fighting. I believe this is her debut in Bellator. I don't think she's fought for them before. They don't even have her picture in here. She's fighting Arlene Blencow, which I have heard of her before, but I don't know much about her. And then we have another big name, Danny Sabatello, fighting a bantamweight bout versus Marcos Breno. Why did my music stop? That's annoying. Oh, well, that would be why. There we go. Anyway, Danny Sabatello was involved in a main event fight a while back. A big fight against God, what was his name? It was a big fight too. Damn it. They talk a lot of shit. I know that. Anyway, it was a good one. Unfortunately, he lost. And now he's fighting Marcos Breno. 13-2 versus 15-2 for the records. And yeah, that should be a good one. Danny Sabatello is always involved in an exciting fight, so catch that one. Also, Levon Chokelly against Michael Lombardo. I'm sorry. That's a welterweight fight. And yeah, that's the main card. So let's see who's on the prelims. Any notables? Oh, Tyrell Fortune versus Sergey Bilostini. Tyrell Fortune's been around a bit. Not too bad of a fighter. Trying to make his come up. Let's see who else is on here. No, that's about it. I mean, that I know. Yeah. So that's Bellator 294. That is happening Friday, tomorrow night. Going up against One Championship and BKFC. All those events happening Friday night. So you can pick a mix of Muay Thai and MMA. You can watch some bare knuckle boxing, or you can just watch some straight up MMA with women headlining. Not a bad bunch of options there. So you can go check that out all tomorrow night. So then, let's see. Then we move on to yet another Bellator event this weekend. And that is Bellator 295 happening Saturday. This is a Bantamweight World Grand Prix final. The interim champion, Rufian Stotts, that's who Sabatello was fighting. So he's the interim champ, fighting number 2 Patchy Mix. Let's see, Rufian Stotts. I think it's Rufian. It's Raufeon. I've heard it said so many different ways. That's why I even doubt myself. But Rufian Stotts versus Patchy Mix. Stotts is 19-1. Patchy's 17-1. So big. My gosh. Why? Anyway, this event is happening in Hawaii, by the way. So that's probably why they're having the 2 events. They're doing one in Hawaii, the other one I'm not even sure where it's at. I forgot to check. But I just remember this one being in Hawaii. There's been a lot of talk about that because anytime they have an event in Hawaii, people get hyped about it because they don't bring MMA to Hawaii very much. There's not a lot of like big name organizations that the UFC's flirted with it quite a bit, especially when Max Holloway was a champ, and he was always talking about bringing it to Hawaii. They talked about it back in the day when BJ Penn was around, but they never did it. They talked about it being too expensive and all this other stuff. Who knows why? Either way, hasn't happened yet. But Bellator has done quite a few events in Hawaii, and they continue to do it. They have a bunch of Hawaiian fighters, and they always feature them on these fight cards, including the staple Alimale McFarlane. She's fighting Kana Watanabe, women's flyweight. Alimale was the former champ, and she's always on. Like I said, she's always on the Hawaiian cards because she is Hawaiian, like big time. She is Hawaii. Like you just see her and you can tell she's always wearing the flower in her ear, and she's always got all the Hawaiian print stuff, like everything. She just reps Hawaii big time, and I mean she's a great fighter as well. So let's see, we got Kyoji Horiguchi versus Ray Borg, a couple of ex-UFC fighters. Man, Horiguchi has 35 and 0. Wait, 35 and 0. Not 35 and 0. He's not undefeated. He has 5 losses. So 30 wins, 5 losses. And yeah, he's been around a long ass time too. Fighting Ray Borg, who was, I don't remember. I think he was in the UFC not that long ago. It wasn't that long ago before he's been out of there. So that should be an exciting fight. And then we got the return of Aaron Pico. He hasn't been around for a while, I think, dealing with injuries and whatnot. So he was highly touted for a long time because he's of his high level, wrestling. And he came in with big hands, like wanting to knock people out, which he was. He was knocking people out for a minute, but it was short-lived, unfortunately, and he got knocked out himself and has been dealing with injuries and stuff. A couple losses on his record, but now he's back. He's 10-4-0 versus James Gonzalez, who's 9-5-0. And yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see if he comes out using that high-level wrestling that he knows, or if he's gonna come out swinging, looking for that knockout again. So this is a pretty damn good card when it comes to Bellator. If you follow any of them, and you might know some of them from the UFC, but these are some big names here on the main card. Let's check out who else they have in the prelims. Yeah, not really any other big names down there. Looks like a lot of Hawaiian fighters who are probably, good hometown fighters to have on the card that are probably well known in Hawaii. Kai Kamaka III versus Adley Edwards. That should be a good one. Kai Kamaka is a name I've been hearing a lot, so that might be somebody to look out for. And then, Yancy Medeiros. I thought he was on this card, and I couldn't remember, so I didn't want to say nothing right away. But Yancy Medeiros, ex-UFC fighter as well, Hawaiian native as well, and yeah, he's big on Hawaii. That's a lightweight belt against Charlie Leary. That would be on the prelims. Yep. Yeah, and I think that's about it. So, 2 Bellator cards this weekend. One on Friday, one on Saturday. So, if you're a big Bellator fan and you know these fighters, this is the great weekend for you because you get back-to-back events in the same weekend. And 2 title... I don't know if Stotts... No, it's a Grand Prix final. So, he's just an interim champ right now. It's not for the title. But, still, being a Grand Prix final, that should be an exciting fight. They're both fighting for something for sure. They got stuff on the line, so that usually makes for a better fight. And then you have the women's flyweight championship on Friday night. Carmouche versus Bennett. That should be a great fight too. So, man, Bellator doing it big and keeping it going strong this weekend for sure. Let's move on to some recap of last week's UFC event. Holloway versus Allen. Max Holloway did the damn thing like he always does. He doesn't lose to many people. Usually, Alexander Volkanovski is pretty much the only person that keeps beating him. So that makes it tough for him to get that title. But Arnold Allen, did I say someone else? I might have said Brendan Allen. I didn't mean to. It's Arnold Allen. I might have just said Allen and I'm calling myself out for nothing. I do that a lot. Whatever. Arnold Allen, though, was undefeated in MMA and in the UFC. And I'm sorry, not in MMA. In the UFC. He had 1 loss overall in MMA. But definitely undefeated in the UFC. And this was a tough fight. But yeah, let's just get into it real quick. First, from the prelims, we had old school, kicking it back to the old school with Ed Herman. He's been around for a fucking long time. Jesus Christ. For as long as I've watched MMA, which is like going on 20 years or 20 plus years. I don't even know anymore. But I've been watching for quite a while, and Ed Herman's been around for a long ass time. So he was fighting Zach Cummins. Unfortunately, for Herman, Zach Cummins came out on top, and they kind of had a moment at the end of the fight, even though Herman lost. They both, I guess, had the same frame of mind. It was about time for Herman. I was kind of surprised by Zach Cummings, but they both retired same night right after the fight. I think I'm pretty sure that's the first dual retirement, simultaneous retirement in a night that I've never seen it before for sure. So I'm pretty sure that's the first time that's ever happened. It's pretty crazy that they both decided to retire in the same night, But I think it was Cummings who was on the Wani show and said, he asked if like it seemed like kind of annoying or anything that they both retired in the same night, like if either one of them took the other shine or anything. But they both seemed pretty okay with all of it, and they were happy to share the moment together. And I think they appreciated each other and their fight after the fact, even though Ed Herman got the loss. So yeah, thanks for the memories, guys, and good luck on your future ventures. Hopefully you both find something that you're happy with after fighting. I know these guys have a tough time retiring because fighting's everything for them, and it takes up all their time and how they make their living. So moving on from that is gotta be tough, and yeah, I couldn't imagine. So they gave us a great fight to end everything off with, and they both retired at the same time and gave us a great moment to reflect on. So good luck to both of them. And yeah, we'll move on to Clay Guida versus Rafa Garcia. And Rafa Garcia, just man, he definitely kept up with and outdid Clay Guida. So here's Guida just looking all bloody, but he kind of always does. If he's in there for the fight and he's in there and gets hit at all, he's getting bloody. He's just one of those guys. And he's always so sweaty, and he doesn't stop moving, and all the hair, although he doesn't have the crazy hair anymore, he did chop it off. I don't know if he got tired of it or he realized that it looks kind of ridiculous that he's balding a bit and then has this crazy hair. I don't know why he did it, honestly. Either way, didn't have too much luck in this fight, unfortunately for him. Got bloodied up. Rafa Garcia just doing the damn thing with the strikes, man. He was definitely getting the best of Guida with the strikes. Just outstriking him overall. Landing flush. And Guida's not the type to get hurt, really. So if you just beat him up, he just gets beat up. That's about what happens. There's not a lot of stopping Clay Guida. And, here's a big punch to the temple. And unfortunately, though, it ended even worse for Guida after he takes the loss from Rafa Garcia. And there was a lot of retirement talk this fight. I don't know what the fuck was going on. You had Cummings and Herman retire. This other fighter, who I cannot remember his name at the moment, pulled some crazy promo on the crowd. They were in Kansas City, and he's like, well, I just have a special announcement to make. I just wanted to let everybody know there's no way in hell I would ever retire in a dump like Kansas City. And then, because he made it sound like he was going to retire, and then he just, goes back on it and says there's no way in hell that he would do it in Kansas City. Just like, I don't know, dude. I don't know what the fuck was going on. It was funny in the moment, I guess. It was, it's been talked about, so, but maybe because then after the fact, Clay Guida also did this thing where, they're talking to Garcia on the post-fight interview. Guida's kind of pacing in the cage, takes off his gloves and acts like he's going to retire. So they go to him after the fact and they're talking to him about this, that, and the other. And hey, are you going to, I think DC asked him, are you going to retire from the sport right now? And he goes, no, I just, wanted to say happy birthday to my mom or some bullshit like that. So he pretty much just, fucking just tricked everybody, basically, to lied like a motherfucker, made everybody think that he was going to retire because nobody would have been surprised. Clay Guida is been around for so goddamn long. I think he's like in his 40s already. Everyone's pretty much just wouldn't be surprised by him retiring This is about that time. He's still an animal, and he still has that crazy cardio, but he's always so mixed with his wins and losses. And it seems like every time he loses, it gets a little worse. So I'd like to see him go out before he gets knocked out in a horrible fashion and then has to be carried out of the cage instead of getting to walk out on his own accord in his own way. So sometimes you got to quit when you're ahead and quit before it gets too much. You get too much in the dirt. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, but he did that and he pissed everybody off because basically he faked his retirement just to say happy birthday to what I heard mixed signals. It was a friend, it was a mom, who the fuck knows? Who cares? Either way, bad news for him. Made himself look bad. Dana White was fucking pissed, and he let everybody know. And yeah, it was all just kind of craziness. Too much retirement talk for not everybody actually retiring. But moving on, Pedro Munoz versus Chris Gutierrez. And let's see. This fight was pretty damn good too. I mean, you usually get a good fight out of both of these guys. But Pedro Munoz came out with the win. And where the hell? I don't understand when they do this. It's like everything's out of order. All right. Anyway, Pedro Munoz got the win by decision over Chris Gutierrez. And Munoz landed a lot of good punches on him from, as you can see in all these pictures. And, pulled out with the decision. No finishes, but got that win. Sounded like he really needed it at the moment and really wanted to get that win. Chris Gutierrez is still young and coming up and has been doing his thing lately. So, hopefully he just turns it around quick. And he didn't get hurt very much in this fight from the looks of it. So maybe he'll turn it around quick and get back in that win column. But next fight was Ian Cutelaba versus Ian Cutelaba. I keep saying Ian. I went over that last week and I'm still over here doing it. Versus Tanner Boser. And Cutelaba got that win by TKO in the first round too. So yeah, he came out ready to fight and came out fast and furious. And as you can see here, got him down. Punches were thrown. And Cutelaba got the win. I figured this was going to be one of those kinds of fights where they were going to come out quick and ready to throw, and someone was going to go down pretty fast. And I mean, I wasn't sure it was going to happen in the first round, but it definitely did. They got to it right away and fucking threw some punches, and Tanner Boser is the one that fell and got the loss. So good for Cutelaba. He's a big name, and he's always exciting when it comes to his fights. And he needed that win after 2 losses in a row. It's never good to get that 3rd loss. So, I'm sorry. That would have been his 4th loss in a row. Shit. How did I? Yeah. So, yeah, you definitely don't usually want to get that 3rd loss in a row. But when you already have it, getting that first win after that is probably a great feeling. And hoping that you turn it around and start getting on a win streak instead of mixing up those losses in there. But next fight was Azamat Murzakanov versus Dustin Jacoby. Azamat, as you can see here, was outstriking Jacoby and got the win by decision. It went all 5, but unanimous. I mean, all 3. I saw 5 minutes. All 3 rounds. But it was a unanimous decision for Murzakanov, which is surprising to me because I thought Dustin Jacoby was gonna come out and be looking for that win, a lot. Like I just figured he was gonna come out trying to dominate, and it just didn't seem like he had it in him that night. So yeah, Edson Barboza versus Billy Quarantillo. Barboza always doing big shit, man. Flying knees, spinning back kicks, spinning back fists, everything, man. He does all the crazy shit, and he's not like super flashy about it either. When it like Anthony Pettis was called Showtime, right? Because he did the Showtime kick, and he was always doing, stuff to like Showtime. That's why he called him Showtime. He was flashy. That's what I'm trying to say. He was flashy with all of his strikes all the time and doing the most. Spinning attacks, flying attacks, everything. So, but yeah, Barbosa's been doing that for years. Terry Edom being his first victim on his highlight reel, pretty much, that put him on the map when it comes to highlight finishes with that big spinning back kick and just man, I lost my train of thought. See, stupid word text sometimes, I swear. What was I saying? Oh, spinning back kick. Oh yeah, and just like flatten him out like stiff on the ground. So that was one of those fights that was one of the first fights I remember thinking I'll never forget watching this live, because it was so crazy. Just look it up. Edson Barbosa versus Terry Edom. That's a great highlight you want to see if you just started watching MMA, or you just gotta, want to kind of go old school and see a good clip. Barbosa versus Edom. That was a badass finish. And Barbosa is looking like his old self here with this flying knee that landed flush on Billy Q. And, everyone was thinking Billy Q was going to take this fight because you got the young pup versus the old dog. And yeah, Edson showed that he's still in the damn game. And, here's a little evolution, a different angle of that knee landing. If you saw it in real time, if you saw it in real time in the right angle, you actually didn't know that he landed that knee and just kind of were like, what the fuck? Billy just dropped like that out of nowhere and basically didn't get up right away. So it was like, yeah. And then you see it from the other angle, and there it is. You got that flying knee. So that's what ended it. That's what did it. And Edson comes away with that win. Then we getting to the main event. As usual, Max Holloway being classy. Arnold Allen, he's a humble and classy dude as well. So to see them, give each other props at the end of the fight, not surprising at all. And it looked like they both had a good time. Max always looks like he's having a good time. But at the end of the fifth, went unanimous decision in Max Holloway's favor. Which, being that Arnold Allen was undefeated in the UFC, it was kind of surprising because a lot of people were doubting whether Max was going to look like he aged overnight, or if it was going to be, because Arnold Allen is that good, or was it going to be the Max of old putting on a clinic and, doing what he does. And that's kind of what it was. Not to the full extent. It wasn't at the Kelvin Cater type of show that he put on with that many significant strikes. But, I mean, it was still pretty substantial, and I think he even, pushed on a record now for the most significant strikes in history, pretty much. So, yeah, I mean, he's always putting up that volume. Max Holloway is always doing exciting stuff during his fights and just making the fight exciting overall. Landing good, hard punches and landing lots of punches and lots of kicks. And, he has a chin, too. It's hard as fuck to knock him out or knock him down. So, Max Holloway comes away with that win, doing what he always does. Big punch right to the chin. Good accuracy, good enough power. And, he's not the most powerful, but good enough power, especially when you throw that many punches. The volume alone is enough to, get a lot of wins over a lot of big names, and that is something that he has definitely done. So congrats to Max, and it's good to see him get that win. Arnold Allen, though, it's his first loss in the UFC, but he's still young and he's still up and coming, and he hasn't taken a lot of damage, so he's got a lot of time ahead of him, and I know he'll be back on that winning track. So good fight there. let's move on to some boxing because there is a big fight this weekend. A rarity in this sport because that's what how boxing is. It's kind of fucking annoying. Um, a lot of times you don't get a fight of this magnitude with guys in their prime with great records and that are superstars. You don't usually get that, and you don't usually get that fight to happen while all of those things are in sync with each other, where both of them are at the height of their careers, both of them are young, both of them have great records, and both of them, have the swag and the confidence to, make this an exciting build-up to the fight. There was like Pacquiao and Mayweather, which I think last time I talked about this fight or a boxing fight, I couldn't think of the matchup that I was trying to think of, which I said Mayweather because that's easy to remember, but I couldn't think of the fact that it was Pacquiao. But Mayweather Pacquiao happened like 6 years too late. They talked about it, there was big hype, it was going to happen, this, that, and the other thing, and it never did. It didn't come to be until like 6 years down the road when Pacquiao's looking slower, Mayweather's on his way out, like they're not at the height of their careers, and it wasn't the most crazy, fantastic, big lead up to a fight that it should have been if they would have done it when they were supposed to at the height of their careers. So, that's how boxing is. I don't know why. This is why I don't watch boxing like I watch MMA. They fuck around too much. There's too many promotions, too many organizations, too many fucking belts, too much bullshit, too much shadiness, too much corruption, like too much bullshit. Too much, man. Why? Make the fucking fights that people want. Make the fucking fights that make sense. Boxing is people they got to get built up in boxing, and I get it. It's kind of smart the way that they do it in a sense. They don't ruin somebody's talents right away by giving them big fights too fast, but they give them cans. Like they're like, oh, this dude's like 0-71 or this guy has like 58 fights under his belt, but only 3 of them are wins. What the fuck? I get it. You get it's like practice, I guess. Practice for the big show because you're in an actual professional fight in a ring during an event under the lights, but there's not that much happening because you're the biggest favorite ever and you've got way more talent, and they're just giving you guys to pad your record. Maybe not pad it, build your record in this. I don't know. I don't want to sound too biased, but fuck. Boxing just annoys me. The way that they do things, it just annoys me sometimes. So I can't help it. That's how I feel about it. And I'm just not that interested in boxing except for some of the bigger names like, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. Fuck, those are the only ones I can come up with at the top of my head. Although I know more. Triple G, Canelo, so many. I know there's more. There's really not that many though. That's why it upsets me that I can't remember them all. Who gives a shit? Get back to the point, dummy. Which is Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. And Tank Davis is a beast. His nickname's Tank for a fucking reason because he hits like a goddamn tank. And if you've ever seen any of his fights or highlights from it, you fucking know that that's true, right? But Ryan Garcia, young dude, got the swag. He fucking has the talent for sure. For sure he has the talent. He's got KOs in the ring. And I know that I just fucking fucked myself by saying everything is like the way it is in boxing. Think what you want to think. I don't give a shit. Either which way, they've put up highlight reels. They both have highlight reels is what I meant to say. And they both have big knockouts. Ryan Garcia is fast as fuck, but so is Gervonta Davis. This is a pretty good even matchup, but a lot of people say Davis has the talent and the fight IQ and the experience that just tops Ryan Garcia, and the power. The power is the thing. You see these big power shots from Davis, and when he lands, he puts your ass to sleep. and that's all there is to it. So it's a big fight because they're both at this high level and they're both undefeated. So someone's always got to go. If you remember fucking Conor McGregor saying that. But yeah, both undefeated. Gervonta 28-0, Ryan Garcia 23-0. Tank has 26 KOs. Ryan Garcia has 19. So you can see here how close it is, right? The weight factor, Gervonta's a little heavier. 134.5 versus Ryan Garcia 130. Gervonta a little shorter, 5'5.5" to 5'10". I thought that was reach. The next one is reach. So Ryan's got the height, Ryan's got the reach. Ryan Garcia is orthodox, and Gervonta Davis is a southpaw. But when you say when you say Garcia being orthodox, I mean, I've seen him knock fools out with left hands too. So anyway, Garcia is a little younger at 24. So that's what I'm saying, you know. Gervonta's got that experience and that power upper hand on him. I'm over here fucking my words up. Yeah, the build up to this has been great. They did this at the face off. They both went back and forth, putting knuckles in each other's chins, and you know, some back and forth, all kinds of jabbing, gibber. I don't know what the fuck I was trying to say. God damn it. I saw the punches. I'm thinking jabs. All kinds of jawing. That's what I meant to say. And yeah, they've been nonstop talking shit, right? So, and Davis, that's what Davis does. Garcia doesn't seem like the type, but you know, you get him going and he's definitely going to talk that shit. And Davis has his number on that one, man. He knows how to push those buttons. And all of the face-offs, all of the press conferences I saw, they were always jawing at each other. So, and then just the other day, they did this Instagram live with each other or some shit. And I don't even know, honestly, what happened. I just saw a clip of them on Instagram live together, betting each other's purse on themselves, right? Saying, hey, I bet my purse I'm going to beat you. And Gervonta's like, for real? You're going to do that? Like, really? So he's freaking out, and his homies are freaking out. And Garcia's just sitting in his car by himself like, yeah, man, I'll fucking bet my purse because I know I'm going to beat you. So he's pretty confident, doesn't give a shit. You know, these bets that these guys make, first of all, I don't even know if they're allowed to do that. Secondly, though, anytime you ever hear somebody saying, I bet my purse on it, do you ever hear of them following through? Is there ever a story or a picture or anything like that that shows that they actually paid up? I mean, I don't know, right? Maybe they'll make each other hold up to it. Who knows? Either which way, that happened the other day. That's why I bring it up. But like I was saying, Garcia with the left, I mean, he may be orthodox, but he can knock fools out with that left hook, and he's quick with it too. So, as you can see, he's got that little swag walking away, like, yeah, what's up? I did that, no big deal. And then there you go with another left, big left KO. So orthodox, yeah, I don't know why it says that when it seems like all of his power shots are with his left. So, but it is what it is. He's a young guy, and you know, he has a tendency to slip up a little bit. And you know, I mean, this is just what I've heard. I haven't watched all of his fights or anything like that. And you know what? Either way, there's a lot of hype around him, and it's deserved from what I see. He's undefeated as well, like I said. So, but the biggest thing about Gervonta Davis is that he's been around. He came up in the Floyd Mayweather camp, even though he's not with them anymore. Some kind of disagreements and whatnot there. But, you know, Gervonta Davis came up in that camp, was, you know, recognized right away because Mayweather was hyping him up. And, you know, and he was doing his thing in the cage. I'm so used to MMA. He's doing his thing in the ring, knocking fools out, showing the power and showing the talent. So, and here we go with a big left hand from Tank. And there you go. Landing flush, hard as fuck. That fool was out as soon as his head went fully back. So, I mean, that's the kind of power. And he got hit in the chin and still looks like he's good. So that's why they call him Tank. And look at that nasty fucking uppercut. Holy shit, dude. I mean, uppercuts by nature just look so vicious, right? And just look so dope when you actually land it. But he lands that shit like so flush, so hard, just perfect. Great punch, great uppercut, landed right in the chin, knockout right away, laid out flat. So Gervonta Davis has that power and has that IQ to know what angle to come in at, know what punch to throw, and know what the fuck he's doing. So I don't know, man. This one's tough, you know. Little tail of the tape here. Like I was saying earlier, Garcia 24, Davis 28. They've only, you know, Davis only has 5 more fights than him. And yeah, he's got the upper hand on the knockouts though, 26-19. But I mean, it's not 19 knockouts. That's no joke either, right? Ryan Garcia looks like a little dude. At least Tank looks like a fighter. You know what I mean? Like you see him and you say, I'm not sure I want to fight that dude, even though he's only 5'5.5". He looks like a little fucking pit bull, and I'm not sure I want to get hit in the liver that many times because he's short as fuck, right? But he'll probably still knock a full out. A big dude, even, is what I'm saying. But like Ryan Garcia just looks like a little kid. Like little kid you see fucking, you know, out on the playground. Like, hey, you look like you're a little kid, but I bet you're a lot older than I think. So that's kind of what he reminds me of. He's got that baby face and shit, but he's knocking fools out, as you saw. So this should be exciting. It's a big fight. Everyone's talking about it, and you know, if you're a big boxing fan, I'm sure you know and are gonna watch. This is on pay-per-view, I believe, Showtime or DAZN, or fuck, I don't even know where else. But I do know I saw something about Showtime and DAZN, so I'm sure you can find it there if you want to watch. If you find a way to find it, otherwise, good on you and enjoy it. But this is happening Saturday night, by the way. So let's get to the other Saturday night main event for me, because I'm always watching MMA and UFC. So we got Sergey Pavlovich versus Curtis Blades for UFC Vegas 71. Back to the bullshit ass Apex. I mean, I don't like it that much, but it is what it is. At least we get fights. I don't know why they keep going back there. We need the crowds, man. But also, do whatever. Who cares? This should be a good fight, though. Pavlovich versus Blades. Heavyweights going at it. Blades being that great wrestler, but also having good striking. Pavlovich, good mix of it all. Big power. As, oh man. Got the damn hiccups. He's got the power, and having teeth KO'd other big name, big heavyweight fighters. You know, he's on a roll right now. So this should be a pretty damn good fight, actually. I'm looking forward to it, and I will watch it as I can, even if it's the next day. But let's start off at the beginning of the card. Jeremiah Wells versus Matthew Semmelsberger. That's a tough fucking last name, man. Semmelsberger. But yeah, Jeremiah Wells 11-2, coming off 1, 2, 3. So he's 3-0 in the UFC, and he's coming off 3 wins. Yeah, Jeremiah Wells against Matthew Semmelsberger. Keep saying the name because I'm trying to get it right. I think that's how it is. Semi the Jedi is his nickname. That's kind of funny, but kind of corny. I don't know. He's coming off a win, but yeah, this dude has like lion hair. 11-4. Shit. Here we go. Wells has this crazy big punch. He looks like that's what he's out there to do. You know, just run out, just fucking bum rush you and hit you with big punches. And I mean, watch him trip, but he winds up getting up pretty quick and throwing another punch before the other dude even gets up. So, you know, he's got some speed on him. Looks like he's got some power. I haven't followed him very close. Same with Semmelsberger, but, you know, seen some highlights. They looks like this could be a really exciting fight, depending on how they decide to come out. And, oh, damn it. I just closed the window I didn't want to close. Yep, now I'm all fucking lost. Here we go. Anyway, moving on to the next. Got Yasmin Lucindo, and I did not spell that wrong. That is how she spells it. Because that shit catches my eye every time. I'm like, IAS, that's weird. But it's pronounced Yasmin Lucindo versus Brogan Walker. Brogan Walker is in a tough uniform because she was on the Ultimate Fighter. That's her she's only had the Ultimate Fighter fights in the UFC. You know, she hasn't actually been in a regular UFC event. So that's why I could only find the picture of her in her tough uniform. So let me see here. One. Damn it, man. Why do they make these things so difficult to find when it should be easy? I closed out my damn window, and now I'm trying to just get back to the spot I was at. All right, here we go. But Yasmin Lucindo has some good striking. That is a crazy picture with the side of that chick's face just kind of caving in as she gets hit on the other side. These pictures always trip me out, man, because you see their faces just contort in different ways. It's kind of crazy. But Lucindo is 13-5, coming off a loss. But before that, her only UFC fight is a loss, so that sucks for her. So these are just a couple of newbies, up-and-comers. Brogan Walker, though, I did watch her on the Ultimate Fighter. She was the runner-up. And, yeah, that was her last fight. Was against Juliana Miller, who was the actual Ultimate Fighter winner that season. So, before that, though, she did fight in Invicta as well, which I did not know. So, that's cool. Coming from Invicta, a lot of big-name women's fighters have come from Invicta. So, but yeah, Brogan fought Juliana Miller, and you know, there's not a whole lot of highlights and a whole lot of stuff about her in the UFC because she has not fought yet in an actual, you know, typical UFC card. So, moving on to one of the fights I'm excited about for sure, Bobby Green versus Jeff Gordon. Bobby Green is always in an exciting fight too. Like, this dude will talk to you in the cage, and it's not always like shit talk, and he's got this voice, this like gravelly voice that, I don't know, it just catches your attention when he talks. And then just the way he talks too. But I mean, this dude is a vet. He's like 36, 29-14 for a record, you know, seems kind of salty or whatever, but either which way, he's had a pretty good career. Like I said, he's an exciting fighter. So, and he's just like, he always has something to say. And it's not like in an annoying way. It's always like just something you want to listen to. I don't know. For me, it is. Unfortunately, though, he's coming off 2 losses. His last one being against Drew Dober. Before that, Islam Makhachev. So it's not like he's losing against a bunch of punks and, you know, rejects. He's definitely got some big wins, too, against some names, Nasrat Akbaras and Eli Kenta. But, you know, he's been around for a while. And, he's got 2 losses recently. Like I said, coming off of 2 losses. So he definitely wants to get in there and get that win right now because 3 losses is never good in a row. But he's fighting Jared Gordon, who fought against Paddy Pimblett last and was in that controversial decision. You know, everyone thought that Jared Gordon won. He gave it to Paddy Pimblett. Kind of rough. It was a close fight, but really it did look like Jared Gordon got that win. So unfortunately, he didn't, though, in the judges' eyes. So he's coming off a loss to Paddy Pimblett, and yeah, looking to see what he can do against a seasoned vet like Bobby Green, who's gonna come out here and, he's got this crazy hands down style, right? But he was explaining it on UFC Unfiltered on like how that's just like a style that works for him, right? And you can't deny the fact that he's fast. Like, he's fucking fast at getting his hands from down by his waist straight up and in. Look, just watch this here with that quick left jab and then the fast overhand right behind it. And he brought both of those from his waist. He just said crack, crack, like fast. So, I mean, and that's L.I. Quinta, so it's not like he, some scrub on the street. And he wound up finishing him in that fight. But it's just clean and really good, clean, and fast punches for Bobby Green. So that's something that Jared Gordon definitely needs to look out for. But, Gordon's got a little power of his own, little speed of his own, and pretty good technique as well. So, he's involved in a lot of decision fights, unfortunately. So he's not going to go out there and be looking for that kill. But like I said, Bobby Green likes to make shit happen. So, he's going to go out there definitely looking for the action. And I'm excited for that fight because I like Bobby Green a lot. And to be fighting someone like Jared Gordon seems like it'd be pretty damn interesting. So, moving on to Tavares versus Silva. Brad Tavares versus Bruno Silva. Little crazy weird thing. There's two Bruno Silvas in fucking the UFC, apparently. So, yeah, it's kind of tough to try to figure out which one's which. You gotta like look at the correct record. Their pictures even look similar when you're looking at like a really small image of them. So yeah, anyway. Brad Tavares, oh jeez, coincidentally fighting on the same, he's from Hawaii, and he's fighting on the same night as Bellator is having a event in Hawaii, so that's kind of trippy. But 19-7, coming off a loss to Dricus du Plessis. So, that's a big name for you. And he's coming off a loss to him. Had a couple wins before that, though. He's always up and down like that. Few wins, couple losses, few wins, one loss, stuff like that. But yeah, he's been around for a bit. 35 years old, fighting against Bruno Silva, who I don't really actually know that much about, which is probably what made it harder for me to distinguish the difference between the two. But he's 22-8, 33 years old, coming off of 2 losses. But those were a lot. That was a loss to Alex Pereira, who is now the former middleweight champ. Yeah. And also a loss to Gerald Meerschaert. So 2 really big names, 2 really big fighters, 2 really good, well-known fighters is what I'm really trying to say. So, unfortunately, that just kind of means when he meets that higher echelon of talent that he hasn't been able to pull through. So, against Pereira, it was a decision, though. And then against Meerschaert, it was a submission. So, before that, his wins were by TKO or KO, which is pretty good. But he just can't seem to hold up to those higher level guys. But you got Brad Tavares that he's got to watch out for with these crazy dynamic strikes, always leaping for something, and then even in getting blocked, he's landing a punch. So, he's one of those crazy strikers that you got to watch out for, and he's definitely got the IQ to back up and have a second plan of action, even when he gets blocked, So, something to look out for. And let's see, Bruno Silva, watch these nasty punches here, just going off. Looks like he's swinging crazy, but he's landing almost everything. And he's obviously got some power behind it. So, Tavares has got to watch out for that. And, not get into that crazy brawl. Pick his strikes correctly. And maybe he can land something good and take out Silva. Who knows? Maybe Silva gets Tavares down like this and bounces his head off the canvas. God damn. Anyway, on to the main event. Sergey Pavlovich versus Curtis Blades. Like I said earlier, this should be interesting. Pavlovich is a good, well-rounded fighter. Pretty big though. He looks unassuming, really, but man, he's a beast in there. And he's 17-1, with his only loss coming to Alistair Overeem, which, you know, Alistair's been around. He's a vet, and he got taken out by punches, but I mean, it's Alistair Overeem, right? And that was in 2018, so it's not like that was even older Alistair. But that was his UFC debut, so that's the only loss he's got. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0. I mean, 5-1 in his last, or in his fights in the UFC. So on a 5-fight win streak, last one being against Tai Tuivasa, and then he took out Derek Lewis before that. So some big names mixed in there. And Curtis Blades is 17-3, coming off of 3 wins in a row. So he's on a streak right now. His last loss being to Derek Lewis. So his only losses in the UFC are to Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou. So yeah, I would say that he's doing pretty well. Oh shit, his only 3 losses altogether are to Francis Ngannou twice and Derek Lewis. That's it. Everyone else he's beat. Last fights were Tom Aspinall, which is a big name right now, but that was the knee injury. So that was, everyone was looking forward to that fight, and unfortunately, you know, Aspinall hurt his knee, landed wrong on it or something like that, twisted it and couldn't go on. So that's a TKO win for Curtis Blades, and it was like 15 seconds into the first round, which is pretty nuts. Before that, he beat Chris Daukaus and Jairzinho Rozenstruik. So yeah, I mean, he's that type of fighter, man. And his wins are by TKO, TKO decision, TKO, TKO. So I was saying earlier about his good wrestling, and that's the thing. You know, he does have really good wrestling, but he also has good striking, and he's got enough power to be KOing and TKOing guys. Here's Pavlovich, though, against Tai Tuivasa. Like I said earlier, you know, Tuivasa is not the easiest dude to take out, but Pavlovich overwhelmed him. Punches and bunches, landing everything. And, you know, eventually Tai went down and got TKO'd. And Pavlovich did a lot of the same to Derek Lewis. Now we know when Derek Lewis starts getting hit and he gets hit good, it's pretty much over for him soon after. And this is what happened here. Not even much of a defense, just walking backwards, getting hit, and not moving his head, off balance. So typical Derek Lewis. I like the guy, but sometimes, man, you wonder what the fuck he's doing in there. And this is one of those times, like, why are you going backwards? You can't even steady yourself to get any head moving in there. Unless that one big punch behind the ear, like, really fucked him up. Which could be the case. So, if Curtis Blades can avoid all that and do a lot of this, which I think he will, you know, this is against Alexander Volkov, who's a kind of a similar fighter. And, you know, Blades doing what he does, taking people down. Nice kind of single leg, kind of high crotch single leg takedown there. And, you know, with force too. It's not like he's gingerly laying him down there. He's running through him and taking him down. And, you know, he gets some variation in there as well. Gets that quick leg kick and then quickly wraps him up and trips him, takes him down. Effortlessly, man. That's what Blades is about. He'll get you on the ground faster than you can think. And, you know, next thing you know, you're fighting off your back, wondering how to get up. So, and he's got some striking, like I said. This against Alistair Overeem. Just overwhelmed him. Landing punches. Quickly goes for that takedown, though. You know, so no matter what, he's going to transition to a takedown. And he's going to take you down. And whether he finishes you with punches from there, or he lets you get up and he finishes you and drops you with punches from the feet, it doesn't matter. At one point in time, you're going to be on the ground with Blades. And at one point in time, you're going to be catching some punches. Unless you catch him first and don't let him get there. But It's Curtis Blades, man. He's good. He's fast. He's powerful. But Pavlovich has some good wins over some big names, and if he catches Blades quickly and he can overwhelm him with those punches and get him to drop and be done. So should be a good one Saturday night. If you're not watching the boxing, watch this. I don't know the difference in the times. Maybe boxing is earlier. It might be actually. So no matter what, check it out Saturday night. Saturday you have a Bellator. You have the big boxing match, Davis versus Garcia, and UFC Fight Night Vegas 71. UFC Vegas 71 is, I'm reading Fight Night. Whatever. You know what I mean? That's happening Saturday as well. So you got 3 things to watch on Friday, 3 things to watch on Saturday. Good luck with that shit. I'm not gonna be able to watch all of them, but I'm always following on social media, looking for the highlights. And speaking of social media, my social media is always going on down here at the bottom somewhere. And it's Going Rounds Podcast everywhere except for Twitter. It's Going Rounds Pod. I've got Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Going Rounds Podcast. My hat looks crooked. It's driving me crazy. But yeah, go follow me on all the social media. I repost all the highlights, especially on Instagram and Facebook. TikTok, I make funny blooper videos from the podcast soon enough. I might be coming up with something else. I'm not sure. But be on the lookout. I'm always posting something somewhere. And I definitely let you know when the episodes are out and any new upcoming podcasts that might be off schedule. All the news is there for you. So go check out any one of my social medias. Mostly Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, that's it. Check out the Rumble podcast as well. Can't forget about that. So we go on Sundays and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Sundays we do a draft most of the time of something that we like or hate or both. And then Tuesday is what we call Tech Tuesday because we usually try to go over technical things and problems and troubleshooting or just tutorials, whatever. But it doesn't always happen. Also, we just go over headlines and have a good time, bullshit talk. It's fun. So go check it out. Rumble Podcast at therumblepodcast.com or on the Rumble Podcast YouTube. Subscribe, follow, like, share, comment, do all that good stuff there. Do it all for me as well. That'll be it for me. That's a lot of fights. That's a lot of fighting. And yeah, I think I'm done. And now I'm going to go chill and hope that Friday is not as crazy and hectic as the rest of my fucking week has been. Because I need a break. And then the weekend's going to go by super fast. And then I got to go out of town. So, yeah. You're probably going to see me without my background next week. Because I will be out of town for work. More craziness to ensue. But it is what it is. That's how I make my money. So I can't complain too much. Anyway, thanks for joining in. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you next Thursday for some more fight talk and some more going rounds. Thanks again. Don't forget to listen if you need to listen only. It's all on Spotify or any other podcast platform that you listen to your podcast at. I almost forgot to say that. All right, I'm out. Peace.